All right, y'all. Welcome to episode 29 of the Wiretap.
29.
We are back. We have a guest today, Jeff. Right?
Yes.
Right. Jeff is here to speak on some financial literacy that I think is important for everybody. And let's get into the show. But as always,
spin the intro, like, follow, subscribe, and comment if you feeling frisky. You heard me?
all right. Alright, y'all, we back. Like I said, this is episode 29. So we gonna do our mental health check-in.
Yes, always.
We like to do that, check on everybody, including our commentator. But let's start with Jeff. Jeff, how was your week? And everything good with you? You're not about to crash out or nothing?
I don't think so. I had a phenomenal week.
Not that I know.
I got some work done. Met people that I needed to meet. Gained a new client. So everything has been good for me.
Oh, new money in the building. Okay, I like it. I like
with
it.
that.
What about you, Keith?
My week was cool, bro. I had a great Tuesday for some strange reason. Normally, Tuesday for me in the shop is slow, but had a great Tuesday. Yeah, everything was cool. Home life good, kids good, family good, no complaints.
Okay.
What about you?
My week was cool. I had a little vacation. I didn't go back to work till Wednesday, but as soon as I came back, it was overtime. Wednesday and Thursday, I had to do postings and shit. And I hate these blocks that do this. So in the afternoon, they had us go out, post rental notices, and I was on this block where it was like the best way I can describe it is like a horseshoe.
Okay. Cul-de-sac?
But no, because it came out and around and you could exit from the other side of it.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it's one street, like the whole apartment complex. I got rental notice like this big. You feel me? Pause. So
Is this Car Show?
no, that's over east. So
Okay, chill.
the two streets, mind you,
The heathens live.
I'm thinking it's one whole street
Right.
and it's two. So I had to go back, take all the shit off that I put because they had the same. They like both streets had a 1200 building. Both streets had like a 1203 or 1205. So this whole time I'm thinking I'm going to just one.
So you evicted
You ruined the people's days for no reason.
Yeah. Like somebody put that shit in the mailbox. Like I know he was like, man, this ain't my shit. But I didn't know the streets
my rent.
broke down into two streets. I'm like, this is stupid. I was gonna say someone's going to get us.
Right, yeah.
You can't say the F-bomb on here, by the way, but I don't think you would say the F-bomb, and I don't mean fuck.
He got it.
Right. But yeah, it was two, like for some reason when you came around in the middle, it turned into a whole nother street. So I'm like, so that kind of blew me because I had to go back, get those rental notices back, and then take them to the right street. But other than that, my week was cool. The day was real easy. How about you, Leah?
Oh, my week was really nice. I celebrated a romantic anniversary.
I saw.
yesterday.
Yeah, I saw.
Oh.
Look like, which y'all went to a Jamaican spot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Kanoko girl.
Oh, y'all got money.
Poor as fuck.
They got money.
It was nice.
I went there. I went to Canogo. That's a $300 date.
We was close to it.
Depends on how you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at the glasses.
They
like
got
that.
money, y'all. They got money. Y'all can see where we shoot this episode
It's a
at.
special occasion.
They got a pool.
It's
That should tell
McDonald's.
you.
It's $1 for the rest of the week, you know?
Oh, nah.
You know what
I ain't trying to be that kind of nah.
Yeah, we
nah.
poor. Keep telling you that, man. This cutting hair shit ain't paying off.
Well, we gotta do something. Hopefully everything works. Well, not hopefully it will. But we gotta do something, brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially with this new president coming in office. I feel like we definitely gotta buckle down. But Jeff, you're here to explain to us some financial literacy, help us understand, help the people out there understand. So first and foremost, how did you come into your career path? Well, explain what you do. I'm sorry, explain what you do first.
Well, let me take a step back. Let me say thank you for having me on here.
Oh, absolutely, bro.
Appreciate it. Truly honored to share the space with you guys
Right,
and
thank you.
your audience.
No problem. We like to expose people, help people, whatever kind of content they got, or just whatever they into. We want to come up with the people beside us. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's out there to just come up.
Thank you for coming.
Right. So
Yeah,
thank you for
absolutely.
coming. So
Pause.
yeah. Well,
She's on it.
but go ahead, bro.
No, so are we saying how I got into the industry?
Yeah, explain, like, I guess you would start with yourself in the sense of, like, what got you into, like, your career path, where you come from, and all that. The
So
backstory, like the prequel to.
Got you. So like how I got in the industry, it's like a toss up because I wanted to continue my career in education because like right after I got my MBA, I thought I was gonna go get my doctorate in kinesiology.
Okay.
I want like the study of movement.
Okay, there we go. Because I want to sound ignorant, but I definitely.
No, I knew when he meant, playing sports, you kind of.
I mean, I did.
So it's the study of movement, right? And so how I got there is my dad has Parkinson's disease. Right?
Okay.
So I was basing my doctoral program research around that, my thesis around that, my dad having Parkinson's disease.
Okay.
And so coming from the athletic background that I have, it was, I wanted to combine 3 different disciplines, boxing, cycling, and yoga, and combine all of those to see how it can help with the effects of Parkinson's disease.
Okay.
And so I was like, I had already did my thesis and everything, like way before like I even put in the application. Because it was something near and dear to my heart.
Okay.
So once I applied, I got a phone call from the program director for the MBA, the kinesiology program. And we're talking, and around this time I had just put in an application for Merrill to get into the investing space.
Okay.
And so when I'm talking to this guy at the University of Maryland, he was saying that, look, I'm only going to be able to pay you $20K. And you're still going to have student loan debt. And I can only offer you a teacher's assistant position.
Okay.
And I was like, man.
That's not enough.
Right.
I was like, now in my head, I'm
How
like.
you make that shit?
I'm like, and like Merrill had just offered me like $42,000. So they had like doubled it. And so I tell him that. And he says, well, that sounds like basic math. You probably should go on to that route. And I'm glad that he told me that. Because it was like, yeah, you're right. And so once I did that, and I got into Merrill, and now I wasn't heavy in the investment space, but it was something that always piqued my curiosity.
Okay.
But when I got there, I had to study for the my licenses, the Series 7, which everybody talks about, but that allows me to buy and sell securities on your behalf. Right?
Okay.
So I had to study for that, and then while I'm doing that, they didn't have me doing anything in the role. So now I'm learning on the job and I'm being paid to learn. So I was like, man, I just got out of school, so you gonna pay me now to learn? And so like my whole 40 hours out the week, I was literally studying.
Okay.
So I did that from, if I got the job September 2017, I did that until December.
Okay.
So for like those 3 months, I'm just studying and I'm learning. And I'm like, man, this is fascinating. Like this is all new language to me, and now I'm learning it. Now I can speak it. And I was like, oh, I'm hooked. This is what I want to do. So once I passed that exam, I had to take another one, the Series 66, which just allows me to give investment advice. So now once I'm into the role.
So, not to cut you off, but this is like what people do, like Wall Street people, in a sense?
In a sense, yes.
Okay.
Everybody has like this basic level of information. So it's like the Series 7 and the Series 66. So again, the Series 7 allows you to buy and sell securities. So let's say you call up one of these brokerage firms and say, hey, I need you to place a trade for me. The Series 7 allows them to do that.
Oh, gotcha.
Now, the Series 66, it's a combination of 2 Series, 63 and 65. All of it just means is to give investment advice.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And so once I passed both of those exams, I was now into my role. So once I got into my role, within like 3 months, I was one of the top guys in the site. Not only that, I was like the top guy in like the whole.
You was the Wolf of Wall Street.
Without the other stuff.
No cocaine.
Without all the
Love
other
the
stuff.
coconut ass.
That's it. But like I loved it, and I was like, man, I'm like so good at it. But there was one piece that I wasn't good at. I wasn't good at, in a sense, like on the job. I wasn't good at like reading the financial statements, like the accounting side of it.
Okay.
I just got my MBA. Yes, I can do it in the classroom, but on the job, it's different.
Right, because it counts.
Yeah, it's like it's different. Like, and so I was like, man, I need to like do something else. I need to learn how to read these balance sheets, and so I can be better at what I'm doing.
Right.
So I left there and I went to work for General Dynamics. GDIT.
Okay.
Okay.
And so what that allowed me to do was be a financial reconciliation analyst. So I was doing the ledgers or the accounting for Centers of Medicaid and Medicare.
Okay.
So now I'm like seeing where accounts payable go on the ledgers and account receivables, like things that I learned in class. Now I get to use it in practice because the application of it just, when you're doing it in school, it's just to get a grade.
Right.
But now you're doing it
You're
with like
using it.
real money,
Yeah.
real people. And it's like, okay, now I understand this stuff. But then I also noticed that I was like a fish out of water. Like I needed to be around the markets because that's what I was into. So then I went and started working at Morgan Stanley like shortly after I got a GDIT, and there I was able to be a product controller. And what that just meant is that I was doing the profit and loss statements for our bond traders.
Okay.
Okay.
So I was seeing massive amount of money move on a daily basis.
How does that feel though? Like you're literally.
It's crazy, bro.
It has to be, bro.
Because it becomes like the norm. So I remember when I first got there, they had just issued a bond for like $6 billion. And I'm like, bro. And like, you know, it's like a call that comes out. And I'm like, man, this is normal? Like everybody's just like sitting around. I'm like, bro, like we just about to issue like $6 billion. Like nobody
Like,
else,
nothing.
like it's
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah,
like
like,
it's
ain't
like this
nothing.
regular like conversation.
So this is on topic, but a little bit. Nah, it's on topic. So I was on social media earlier today, and I seen a post where they said that they just poured like $2.78 trillion into the stock market. Like what exactly does that mean? Like in a sense, like they said they poured it into the stock
Who
market.
is they?
It was, you know how you be on your phone and if you scroll all the way over to the right, the NASDAQ and all of that, the Apple News or whatever.
Gotcha.
And it was saying, it said $2.78 trillion was put back into the stock market. Like where did those like funds come from? Like I was trying to understand, like, okay, well, where did the money come from?
Good question. So all that just means is that like the stock market is now just reached the all-time high. So like right after the election, two things happened, or around the same time, two things happened. The Feds just decreased rates again
Okay.
by 0.25 basis points. If you ask me what that means, it only means it's like a percentage point of, so 0.25 percentage points of 1%.
Okay.
That's what a basis point is.
Which in my simple mind means nothing. What is 0.25 of 1%?
But it could be a
equal
lot though, in a sense. When
Okay.
it comes to money, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
but it
Okay.
means exactly what you just said it means. Like, don't let it, it's 0.25
Of 1%.
A percent of 1%.
Okay.
So what that does is now cost to like borrow money now comes down, right? I made like a post on Instagram where I'm explaining how like that works, like the financing and money works. So if like we think of like a seesaw, right? Think of, I'm gonna just use my arm because this is how I like remember. So like think of price on this side, think of rates on this side, right?
Okay.
Rates just went down, so that means price goes up. And let's say, and so now we're operating at a premium. So now money just poured in because now what can happen if rates go down, we can now borrow money cheaper. Like companies can now borrow money cheaper.
Okay.
Profits now go up because we're not paying as much on debt, things of that much. So they just say all these big numbers. That's all it means.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
like things now become cheaper to borrow and things of that nature. Like now we can get more money out and we can use it on research and development, all these other things. But don't just get confused by that.
Okay, shit. He made it sound simple. I get it, but but honestly, like I get what he's saying. Like I don't, and not as a whole, like in a sense, like yeah, I'm about to go do your job now. But
Yeah.
it made it more understandable.
So for our viewers out there, right? Because I like Leah said, her head was spinning in a sense, and I saw this on The Wire, and I thought it was interesting. It's a scene from the first season where Michael B. Jordan's character
He's explaining the math to like
to the sister, and he was like, she didn't understand the actual equation, so he flipped it to make her understand in a
Street sense.
strength sense. And he was like, well, how you get that? but not that. And she was like, well, if I fuck up the pack, I get fucked up. So that's the difference. Is there a way that you can explain things to people that I wouldn't say
layman's term?
Yeah, in layman's term. I was gonna say something a lot more probably disrespectful to me.
In dummy term.
Dummy man, what on?
I mean, but that's how we learn. We the only way to learn is to make it applicable into our lives. It has to be meaningful,
Right.
Or it has to be like outlandish. We only remember like outlandish facts, or we make it meaningful to our day-to-day life.
Right.
So it's how do we take this information and then make it meaningful to us?
Right.
So to that point of the Michael B. Jordan thing, it's like if I ask you how many grams in an ounce, you gonna tell me it's 28. Right? You know what I'm saying? Or if I say like how many ounces in a kilo, you gonna tell me it's 36. It's like, but why is that so significant to you? It's because like the pack. So if I say, hey, like if rates go down, like what can you do with that? Like, okay, now I can now go out. I have more money in my pocket.
Right.
So it's like,
So I could buy more weight and sell it for a lower number.
exactly. But you have to figure out how do you make this applicable like to your day-to-day life,
right.
to make it understandable so that it sticks for you.
Right.
And that's what you do?
I do my best to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, because in my mind, because I kind of understood, I was following you for a minute because like I tried to indulge in, stocks and everything. So some of the language, I understand what you're saying, but to an extent, like for me, it's almost like on a first grade level.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's like I know what 2 + 2 is 4. You get what I'm saying? So when you was explaining the seesaw thing, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And then I'm like, well, does he explain that to like people in a way that they can understand? Because like I said, my thought process just automatically went back to that scene where it was like you said, people have to. The way you learn is how you have to learn things in a sense. So it's like Shorty was in the street, so she understood it from the aspect of that.
Yeah.
But not when it came to like actual numbers. So it's like, to me, I was just thinking like, I wonder if he has to explain this. Like,
And does that differ from each client? You know what I mean? Like, so let's say you have 10 clients. Mm-hmm. Do you have to break it down in layman's terms 10 different ways for each individual client, or do some just be like, you know what, I trust you, just do what you do?
Everyone is different. Me personally, I like to break it down so that you can understand.
Right.
Because I want you to be able to speak it. Like the buzzword that we are all using is financial literacy, right?
Right.
But what does literacy mean? Being able to read, write,
Right.
and being able to communicate to move through the world, right?
Right.
Correct.
Finance is its own different language. If I say, hey, were you long S&P 500, right? Pause. If I say if you were long S&P 500, what does that mean, right?
I have no idea.
It means absolutely nothing to me.
It means absolutely nothing. But in finance, they like to use distance for terms, right? So if I say I'm long, like that's a distance, but it just means buy.
Oh, okay.
It's like, or like if I say, hey, did you short whatever XYZ stock, right? That just means you don't own it. Like you sold something you don't own.
Okay.
Right? So it's like,
okay.
My goal what I look to do is I look to explain these things so that you can now speak it. So now you can go out, or if you're watching TV and
You understand what you're looking at. Yeah.
Right? Now, am I about to make you a certified financial planner like myself or some aficionado in finance? No, absolutely not.
Right.
Right.
But what I am trying to do is give you the ability to speak it, to know it, so that when you hear something, you're not taking advantage of.
Right. You're knowledgeable.
You're knowledgeable.
In
enough.
that
Yeah, even if it's
particular area.
something that's like small, you know what I'm saying? If you hear something and it's like, hold up, that don't make sense because what I've learned is this and this and that. So yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, because you have plenty of people, who are just out to get over and, take you off in a sense.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's the world.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm only gonna give him this piece, but he needs all of this to understand what I'm doing with his finances. So yeah, I would like somebody to sit down and break it down to me so that I understand it. Like you said, I'm able to comprehend and, in the same sense, give the information and tell you what I have going on if I was asked.
Right.
Right. And so you talked about your backstory when you was with the corporation. So are you saying now that you're an independent financial planner, or are you still working for one of these like big firms?
No, I'm independent.
Okay.
So I my goal was to get out and help. So like being at these big firms, you're meeting the quota of someone you'll never meet, the CFO, right? You'll never, or the CEO, you'll never meet this person, or the shareholder. Like you gotta meet these quotas. And so what happens is, am I doing right by the client? In most instances, you try your best to.
Right.
But it's like your job is on the line, the person that's over your job is on the line, and you just got to it becomes transactional. And I was like, man, I don't want to be transactional. Like, I want to build a relationship. I want to do it a way that I want to do it.
You want to have a community.
Exactly.
In a sense.
Right? And if we're being direct, I want to have a community, like within my community, the Black community. It's, because we didn't get the memo, we didn't get the language of it. We didn't get taught, in a sense.
Facts.
So what does that look like, financial planning?
So what does it look like? So it's a holistic thing, right? So I'm looking at everything. I need to see like tax documents. I need to see bank statements for like the past 3 months. Let me go back, tax returns for like the last 3 years. I need to see insurance, home, auto, life insurance. I need to see
everything.
I need to see
pretty much.
We married. We in bed together.
Yeah, pretty much. You need to know where the money going.
Exactly.
Right.
Like I can't help you unless I know where it is. Like we can massage and play around, but we won't accomplish anything. So I'm looking at this holistic view because everybody has like certain fears, right? I don't want my money to run out. I want to make sure my kids are taken care of.
Correct.
I want to make sure like if I become incapacitated, like I know where I could go to get help, right? So now we got to figure out this whole plan. And so what I did was I went and I became a certified financial planner, so I know how to do that. So then the next thing I did was get my life and health insurance, because that's another avenue where people get taken advantage of.
Correct.
So I'm trying to make sure like you're not taken advantage of. So when we do this holistic plan, I'm trying to figure out what are your goals, and then I'm gonna put in like to the means of how we're gonna get there.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna present it to you. You can say yeah or nay, Jeff. I don't agree with that. I don't. You get to decide that. But once we create this plan, we now have something to adhere to stick to.
Right.
So now we know
We have a
where we're
blueprint.
going. There we go.
Yeah.
And so like that's what it looks like. It's this holistic plan is back and forth. It's very fluid, right? And now we monitor this plan every year or any time some life events happen. So like if you get married, all right, now we got to look at it. Like how are we on these goals? If we about to drop 20,000 on this wedding, how does that look like? Or we about to have a kid, how does that look like? And how are we gonna plan for that future? Or we about to buy a home? Have we saved up a nest egg to do that? It's all of these things.
Right.
And some people aren't equipped to do that, or some, like your insurance agent may not be equipped to have like this holistic plan. They just might be only look to you at insurance, or your real estate agent is only looking to like put you in a home.
Whereas though you are offering like this is a lifelong service, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much he's
Yeah.
trying to get you to a point where you understand how money flows to, maybe potentially getting you to some type of financial freedom. You get what I'm saying? So I completely understand that. I was going to ask, since you've been in this career field, because in my mind as I'm listening, because I like certain movies, Wolf of Wall Street, what was the other one, Wall Street, and it's a saying, and I wonder if people
Boiler Room.
Yeah, in Boiler Room, yeah, I've seen Boiler, and I'm wondering, there's a quote in the Wall Street where he says to the guy, and I'm wondering if people in this field think like that. He was like, money isn't won or lost, it's just simply transferred. And for me, it was just like, damn, that kind of made it simple in the sense like, because in my mind, anybody can ask for $1, right? You could go outside, ask for $1, you might get $1, but what you do with the dollar is essentially how you may make it for the next few days. So what's like the biggest, not just mistake, but the biggest thing you've learned so far that you was just like, oh, like, wow, okay.
My biggest takeaway is we all make money. Right? We all know how to get up and
Earn $1.
earn $1. We all know how to do that. Go to the 9 to 5. Not everybody knows how to invest it. It's just a different skill set. Right?
Okay.
Waking up and going to get money is different from saving money.
Making money work for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like those are two totally different skill sets. But what happens is money is also emotional, right? So it's like, nah, why am I gonna give you my money? This is my money. I can do whatever it is that I want with it. So everybody is so emotional to the dollar. But what happens is you want to take these large risks, these big risks from whoever it may be, and you lose that money. You don't come back from that.
That's true.
Like you do not come back from that. Now you're like, oh, I don't want to take this investment, or like you're now gun shy at a sense.
You asked that.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Yeah.
because even from
Which
watching
is a rational fear.
yeah, because even like from watching the movies, like I've always, like I said, that has always intrigued me. But from how the movies always played out, I never trusted the system in a sense, and you know that's just a cultural thing, I guess you would say. But we're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna come right back and get some more knowledge from you. All right, y'all, we back. We're gonna continue our conversation. We were talking about what were we talking about?
Finances.
No, I know we were talking about finances, but where did we leave off?
You had stopped. You were speaking on.
Why you didn't trust the industry?
Yeah.
And like,
Oh yeah, I was saying I think the movies kind of corrupted my mind in the sense of why I never really fully indulged in it. Like I was weird as a kid, like Bitcoin. I knew about that shit when it first came around, but it's like I didn't know how to get into it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's back when. What was the trading companies back then before like Robinhood and all that came around? You had like E-Trade and
yeah.
there was another one, but I didn't know. And they wanted you to pay for shit. I'm like, I ain't got no money right now, so. But it's like certain things that I see that's popping right now. I'm like, damn, I knew about it, but I just was scared to do it.
I was gonna say that's a topic to talk about when he's made that statement like, oh, I ain't got no money right now to do this. I'm not thinking about that. Like, how do you train your clients to know like you don't have to be rich and wealthy, already well off to start investing and being financially literate?
Yeah, it's most people are looking for that, like that big win, right? And if you tell me like, oh, I missed this opportunity, or I'm looking for that, I like go to the casino, go have a good time, blow your money that way, right? You'll have the dopamine released and everything. Like, go do it that way. If you want to invest, we playing it for the long game, right? You're not retiring no time soon. So like, let's play for the long game. So how I'm training clients, or how I'm speaking to my clients, is like, hey, like, we have this finite time, but we have like a long time frame, and when we have to like access this money. So you may not have discretionary funds, but you have a retirement plan. Like, you are with state and local government, so you got a section like 457, right? Exactly. All right, so now we put in money in there. Like, how much can we put in our section 457? And I'll explain to that what it is, but how much can we put into that and still live comfortable, right?
Right.
You do it until it hurts, right? Like, you don't want to disrupt your normal lifestyle at this point because you're now starting out. So you do it until like you start to feel a little uncomfortable, right? Because then that next year, what's gonna happen? You're gonna get like a little, not a little raise, but you'll get it like a raise in a sense. Okay, so now we adjust it like 1 or 2%. So now we don't even feel that pinch, and we just keep moving. And then now, once we look back 3, 4, 5 years, we done made some headway. Right? Investing is, or like in my profession, everybody wants that quick fix. You're not going to get it.
Right.
And so it's like, I can't give you the instant gratification.
Yeah.
It's something we got to see a year from now, 2, 3, 4, and so.
It's almost like, because when you say that, because I remember when Doge was like, because I had gotten on Doge when it was like under a penny at one point.
And Doge, for your listeners, is the cryptocurrency.
Yeah, it's crypto. So, but I was late to investing in crypto, but I knew about crypto.
Okay.
Because Nipsey is kind of what, and rest in peace Nipsey Hussle. He was the one that kind of
Put everybody on game.
Yeah, put me back in that space. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember Bitcoin, and then I remember when it went up, and I was like, oh shit, like I would have never thought, and I'm kicking myself in the head. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking like, damn, I should have did that. You know, all the money I wasted on clothes and shit. Because there was times where it was moments where I got money, like you might have got money back from school, taxes, shit like that, and I'm like, I could have took $4 and invested it in this, and who knows where I would be. So that's why I got in on Doge, and I remember when it went up, and everybody was going crazy. You know, people, you know, I was getting text messages from family members, the whole thing. But I have a cousin who does what you do, as far as working for like a finance company and all that. He was like, the one thing that you got to remember about crypto is that it's very volatile. He was like, you know, you might be here today and tomorrow that shit is all gone. So that's kind of what happened with Doge, because Doge had at one point got to like, I think it was like 25 cents. I had like $1,700. And I'm thinking like, shit, I'm gonna keep it. You feel? I'm gonna wait, because in my mind I'm thinking it's about to do the same thing as Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And when that shit dropped,
went to the toilet.
oh my god, it's going back up now.
Nothing.
But it wasn't that I had nothing. Like, it didn't go back under a penny. But imagine, like, again, I got $1,700,
And that was gone.
and now I'm back down to like maybe $200 or something like that.
That reminds me of the Robin Hood thing that went on like 2 years ago with the
GameStop. I had that too.
GameStop.
I got $500 out of that. I had GameStop, but you feel me? I had forgot all about it. This was like a year later, and then my girlfriend at the time, she was like, "Yo, didn't you invest in GameStop like a year ago?" I'm like, "Yeah." She was like, "You need to check it." Go on there. I only had 4 shares. I had $500. I'm like, "What the fuck going on?" And then that's when I found out about, you know, what happened. But I get why people kind of get hooked onto that quick fix, because I think the times we live in is, you know, that's what we want. We want that microwavable thing that we could just put our money into,
gratification.
and then it just come right back out.
That's why the online gambling is so high right now. All those gambling sites, because it's the quick.
Yeah, it's the
fix.
quick gratification. But what are some of the mistakes that you, outside of the wanting to make money quick, what are some other mistakes that you see people continue to make, or, you know, new people? And have you ever had someone get upset with you because you're like, bro, that's not how it worked?
I would say lack of information, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if my information is coming from a meme,
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably I'm getting what I deserve, right?
Right.
Or if like it's just like social media. But what I say is this, right? That piques the interest. That can't only be your source of information. Like, are you going to do your research on it yourself? Like, the individual has to take that step, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would always tell like a client that wants to do that, I'll give you both sides of it. I like, look, you can have it, but what we not gonna do is we not gonna mess up the nest egg, or we not gonna play with what we set for our long-term goals. You want to open an account and trick off some money? Go do that. Because what you're doing is like you're feeding, like you want that dopamine. Like again, it's now gambling. That's why we just brought up like everybody wants this instant gratification.
Yeah.
We're now gambling. We're not looking at any research. We're not looking at what the company's financial are. We're not doing any of this. So now we're simply gambling. And that's why I said it like a little while ago, just go to the casino and blow the money. You'll have a better time.
Right.
Like you're gonna get drunk. You
Maybe
gonna get
even a better chance.
like you'll have a better time to doing it that way, as opposed to now you have this loss sitting on your hands because you have diamond hands. Like that's what we like to call it in the industry, diamond. Like you're just holding on to it too long. If I were to put $1,700 on this table, what you gonna do? You're gonna snatch it. Mm-hmm. But because you're not seeing it as dollar values, you're looking at it as like numbers on the scoreboard, or what does everybody say? Oh, it's gonna go up. It's gonna keep going up. Mm-hmm. I always say when you say that, watch yourself. Or like when it like goes down or it drops, and we're gonna say, oh, I'm gonna wait till they come back to 1,700. It never comes back.
Yeah, it never. Yeah, yeah, it never. Like, bro, it never. Like, I remember when I saw it, and I was hurting at the time. I was like, nah, because for me, I was thinking like knowing my luck, I'm gonna pull this money, and then that shit going, because the talks was that it was gonna hit $1.
Yeah.
Like that week, Elon Musk was supposed to go on SNL.
And then that's what dropped it.
And that's exactly like he went on SNL, said some fuck shit, and that shit went.
Because once, like, Once everybody is in on it, you're now missing a buck. That's with anything. Once everybody hops on, like it's now world news. Like
once
you've
it's a
already
fad,
missed it.
Yeah, and I'm talking about the hood niggas is hitting me like.
And if I'm like, why are you hitting me with this information? And like, how you know something that I don't know? And your profession is
The streets.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's
It's
the
like,
streets.
so now it's like, oh, okay, that should be like your
Indicator.
to get out.
Yeah, when the wrong crowd starts gravitating towards something that, and I'm not calling them dumb, but
Yeah, I'm not-
less intelligent people, or their background doesn't really.
I'll say this. Let me cut you off right
Go
now.
ahead, go ahead.
I don't knock anybody that like deals drugs. Like these are smart business individuals. It's just in the wrong practice. Or
Right.
what we'll say in the wrong practice.
Yeah.
But I don't have an outlet to give them, so I can't knock them for doing that. Because if you look at a drug dealer, what does he know? He knows procurement. He knows
Payroll.
shipping. He knows payroll. He knows how to get in and out of situations. He knows how to market.
Yeah.
If I say, oh, John Doe over East got it better than Jane Doe over West.
That'll never be a thing, but go ahead.
But what I'm saying is, but what did that just do? That's now marketing. That's now word of mouth. Now we now know product. We now know placement because he knows where to be or she knows where to be.
Yeah.
And they now know price.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like
That's. I mean,
they have all the tools.
They're using their talents for
Right,
for
the saying is-
negativity versus.
They're using their
positive.
talents to survive.
Right. The
I
saying.
can't say it's negative or positive. They're using
The
it to
saying is
survive.
always, they are the best businessmen in a sense because everything you just listed, they know how to do in a sense. But it's just like you said, it's just in the wrong craft. They have the skill set, and they understand it differently. Because like I said earlier, if you explain that to somebody who from out the street, he ain't gonna know what the hell you talking about.
But if you put it to him in his terms, he'll outwork anybody because he sees it from a different perspective.
Right. What I think.
Sorry to cut you off.
No,
You good. We do that all the time, man. We just not as bad as Nori. What do you? I guess. Where do you want yourself and people who you're trying to encourage to step into this side of things? What is the ultimate goal? Not only with the money situation, but I'm guessing the ultimate goal is that one, give them financial literacy, two, give them financial freedom, and three, maybe create some type of generational wealth, in a sense.
And four, like, do it with me. Like,
Yeah.
But no, like, the goal is, I want people to know, like, you're no different than whoever you, like, your next door neighbor. 9 times out of 10, their finances ain't right. You might see the nice car, that's all for sure. So I want you to know, like, your situation is no different than anyone else. Like, again, like, finance, investing, all of this is a different language. And if you don't know it, it's okay, right?
Yeah.
I can't come to the barbershop and say, I know how to do a fade. You need a 3 guard. I don't know what that means.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or I can't come to the jail and use like terminal. I don't know how to disarm somebody.
Right.
You know, I know how to do like the Jackie Chan from Russia. That's about it. But I don't know how to do that. So it's like, it's okay that finance or investing isn't your strong suit.
That's why they have you.
That's why they have me.
Right.
But it's like, if it's not me, there are other qualified professionals.
No, we're not promoting them. We're promoting them.
You and you only.
I mean, I get it, right?
That's it, and that's all. Sure, there's other qualified people. We don't give a damn.
Fuck all that.
Especially like now, because I feel like if anything, with after what happened with the election, I think a lot of us have woken up in a sense, and I think moving forward, we should be doing business with each other. I think, the biggest issue that we've had in our community is not trusting each other. We'll go to an outside source or go to a certain demographic because we associate them with money, but we have people in our community that can do just as better as them.
I'll
Good point, Tony.
That is a good point, right? So I tell people all the time, when you meet with me, it's like, bro, I'm not selling you a product. My product is trust. You gotta trust me.
Right.
And the reason being is because I don't have that big name backing me. every time I meet somebody, they'll say, "Oh, I have a financial advisor," and I always say, "Okay, so what's their name?" And they'll say, "Oh, they're with such and such firm," and it's like, but do you know who's
Right.
safeguarding
You know the
your
person.
money?
Yeah.
Right? It's no. But that's the point to, you know, I trust this brand, right? I trust this name. Trust is just it's a tricky thing. It's like it takes time to develop, and so for our community, it's like, where's the representation, right? So I'm a certified financial planner, right? There are about 330,000 financial advisors, right? Estimated. 100,000 of them are certified financial planners. Of that 100,000, guess how many are black?
One. Jeff.
Fair. 2%. 2% are black. So like out of 100,000 financial or certified financial planners, only 2,000 are black.
That's wild.
Our representation is just small,
Yeah.
right? So like, why have braids or a beard or tattoo? It's like, okay, so I want to make it look like it's okay to be a nerd in another area, right? Or like to nerd out.
And this area is very important.
It's very important.
Very important.
Yeah, like if you gonna nerd out or something, this should be it.
Yeah.
Because this affects your everything.
Because my next question was going to be, what's the number one thing you feel that people waste money on? Like, what's the number one thing that you know most of your clients have in common when it comes to how they spend money?
Eating out. Not regular.
It's food. It's eating out, and that comes from not knowing your budget.
Yeah.
Right? So I always tell people to do this. It's a simple exercise, but it like makes you think, and it makes you see it, and it's just round numbers. So it's like, hey, get a clean sheet of paper, get printed paper. Right on like your monthly take home, whatever it may be. Let's just say our monthly take home is $5,000, right? All right, so now write out all your non-discretionary or all your bills that matter, right? So it's like, all right, put the rent, put the mortgage down. Then what's next? Your telephone bill, like your car payment, your insurance. Put all of that on paper. More times than not, you're gonna have leftover money.
Yeah. I agree
Right.
because
And then what do you do with that leftover money? And that's the part that like I want people to like,
understand.
to
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Because I had like, speaking from experience, I had a client, she brings home like $12K a month,
God dang.
right? So she bringing home $12K a month.
Have mercy.
What she do for a living?
She's just my client. she does her job well. Right? And so after we like wrote down all her expenses, she had about $5K left over that she was just blowing. I'm like, yo, what are you doing with this $5K? And it's
Right.
like, that's a lot of money. And she was like, yo, I never knew that I had like $5K like left over.
Because you were so used to just playing with it.
I told her, and this is what I said to her. I said, like, we all like to clown athletes, right? Because they blow through money. And I said, you're no different than that. Because your thinking is, once I blow this in another 2 weeks,
I get it right back.
Yeah.
I get it right back. And
Yeah.
it's like, no, like, that money that you spent never comes back. Like, if you spend it on something, it's not coming back. Now you're going to get like a replacement of that money. You'll get a new paycheck, but the
Yeah,
money you just
there's no
spent
growth with the money.
is history.
Yo, it's crazy, right? Because I remember like back in like 2019, right? I was going through some things, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to get my shit together. So my best friend, she good with money, so I was like, yo, can you go through my finances and tell me where I'm wasting money? So like you said earlier, food. So she was like, bro, she was like, in 6 months, mind you, I'm only making like $1,100. You feel what I'm saying? Every 2 weeks. So what's that? $2,200 every month.
Yeah.
She was like, yo, in 6 months, you didn't spend almost, I think it was like $2,000 on food.
Just
And then
going out.
on food alone. Then she was like, yo, what's this store you go to? Now, mind you, I worked at the hospital, so they had like the little,
Cafe inside.
not the cafe, but the little,
Gift store?
Yeah. She was like, yo, you spent like $700.
In the gift store?
In the gift store.
Not the gift store.
Well, I used to drink Monsters, little candies, chips,
yeah.
like stuff that, like, in my mind, it's only at the time if I'm paying for like,
$2.
not even that, like $5.
Right.
But that's
That
a
shit
day.
just add up.
Yeah, so she was like, yo, you gotta stay out that store because you wasting too much money in the store. She was like, yo, when it came to your groceries, because you could see like Walmart and the Giant. She was like, yo, you only spent $500 when it came to going to the market.
Yeah.
she was like, if anything, if you was wasting that much money, I would want you to waste it in the market.
Right, because you can get a BJ's card and stock up on your monsters.
And I'm like, damn, like, I never knew that. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm spending just $5 little dollars. But you do that a day, that's 7 days a week.
And I think that's the problem when things got digitalized with the cards. Like back in the day when you had to balance a checkbook, it was much harder to do that versus just going in. They make it so easy for you to spend money. I think that's why it's just, it's just going right out of hands. It went from card to chip to tap to, it's going to be Face ID next. You just walk in the store, grab something, like, all right, you good. Whole time it's just eating away at your check.
Well, Amazon was working on a store like that.
They actually closed it though.
Why?
I forget. They pulled back from it.
Okay.
Let me say they pulled back from it.
Okay. Because I remember, like, you could go in the store, put whatever you need in your cart, and it would just automatically charge your card.
Yeah, they pulled back from it.
But food is definitely, like, the biggest thing. Like, even myself, like, I try to not spend too much on food throughout the week. Like, maybe, like, even my little breakfast sandwiches with my drink, that's $8 a day.
Yeah, I was helping like this prospect. We were going over a prospective client. We were going over his like finances, and I was like, "Look, you don't have to make this drastic change. Like, that's where everyone messes up. They try to make this drastic change overnight, and it's like, no, you're not gonna stick to it that way. If I tell you to stop smoking cigarettes right now and you stop, by day 5, you're gonna want a cigarette.
Yeah, you gonna smoke.
You gonna smoke. So what I told him was like, hey, if you already know by Thursday and Friday you're already like tired with work, use that to eat out. Monday through Wednesday, let's meal prep just those 3 days. Let's build a habit.
Right.
Or it could be Monday and Tuesday, right? Let's build that habit and then we can go from
Gradually.
like, yeah. And now you're like, oh, okay, now
Yeah.
you can see yourself saving money. Now you can see yourself eating healthy, and now your paycheck is
Yeah, because I remember when I first saved my first $5,000, and I used to trip because I started with $50, and it was like the best feeling I ever had from that era in life was because I had a friend, me and him used to compete. So how that happened was he had lost his car. The next day he come in with a brand new car. I'm like, yo, how you get a brand new car with this job? He like, bro, I've been saving money since I was 14. He was like, I'm around 30, 40K. We 24 at the time. I'm like, damn, you got like, so I'm like, damn, I should be there. Like, I'm comparing the situation. So he was like, yo, just start saving your money. So we used to compete in a sense on saving money. So like when I would pull up on him at the job, he'd be like, yo, how much you put away? I'm like, oh, I just put 200 away. He's like, boy, I put like 5 away. I'm like, damn. So that little habit,
Friendly competition.
Yeah,
exactly, it turned
I like
into
that.
a competition. So I remember one day, I ride the bike down there. I used to work for Allied doing security at Johns Hopkins. I ride the bike down there. He like, boy, how much you put up? What you talking about? Like, how much you put away? I'm like, we ain't get paid today? He like, yo, we got paid. I'm like, we ain't get paid today, bro. Stop playing. He like, bro, I'm telling you, we got paid. Check your account. Boom, go on my account. Damn sure, we didn't got paid. I think at the time it was like $2,000 in my check-ins. And I'm like, damn, like, okay. Like, and I slide that over, some of it over to my savings. But the feeling that I enjoyed was just like, I wasn't worried about money.
Because you wasn't living check to check at that point.
Yeah, so I wasn't so worried about money that it's like now it's like, damn, I got 5 bands in my shit. That shit went quick though.
It did.
Yeah, that shit went
Get whatever you want.
Yeah, that shit went quick.
I'm sure it did.
that buddy system method, if like I can call it that, the competitive.
Yeah.
Like it's good, but is it sustainable? Right? Like, it's got.
Where's he now?
Or like, I didn't go there. You did.
I did.
Who, me or as far
Nah,
as?
bro. Whoever.
Oh no, he's still good.
No, I'm saying like, do y'all still communicate?
No, I mean
in the
I
same
haven't.
capacity?
I follow him on the gram, but like from what it looked like, he fine.
Yeah, I mean, like that system, like that's what. Well, when it comes down to personal finance, that system works for him. You haven't figured out what system works for you. So in that period of time, in that moment, it worked for you. And when we talk about personal finance, it's just that. It's personal. Somebody else's system is not going to work for you, right? It's like, how do we develop a system that works for you?
It's almost like a trainer when it comes to training a personal trainer when it comes to training different
That's so
people.
funny. I had wrote that down because that's exactly what it sounds like. A personal
Yeah, personal trainer not
Yeah.
going to train everybody the same way.
Right.
It's like you get to do this, you get to do that.
You gotta
get to do
personalize
this.
it.
Right.
So would you say that, like, you know,
I'm
like,
also a certified personal trainer. Go ahead.
Oh my god.
Oh, for real?
yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Would you say that, like, your each client, each of your clients, you know, they have to, you know, in a sense, bare their soul to you? You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be.
Yeah, because that's a lot of
completely
trust.
transparent.
That's a lot of
You said
trust.
that. He
Yeah.
said-
No,
he
I'm
said
just saying. I'm just reiterating it again because it's like you said, you have to be my personal trainer, and I have to be
vulnerable.
vulnerable with
Absolutely.
you. Like, you know everything about me in a sense, and I have to be transparent, or it's not gonna work.
That's why I'm more so relationship. Like, I want you to know, like, I want you to know where I live, right? Because it's like, if you know where I live, it's like, oh, Jeff got my money, he ain't gonna mess it up. Or if not, I'm gonna show up at his house.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So I want you to have that vulnerability because it's like that's the only way that it's going to work. If you're hiding something, it's like, well, I don't know, and then something comes down the pipe, and now we're both caught off guard, or well, I'm caught off guard, and it's like now I feel like I'm not doing my.
Have you ever had to cut off a client? Now, I remember a personal trainer saying, like, don't get it twisted. Like, if you're not doing the work, I'm done with you. So, have you ever had to cut off a client because they not following the script?
No, I try to meet everybody where they are, right?
Okay.
So it's like I don't push, I don't do the hard sales. I can do it. I don't. If I give you something to do, like, we all adults here. Like, I'm gonna say, hey, do this and do that. Like, if I'm saying I need these documents, I'm not gonna chase you for them. I've already sent you the email. I'll send you a text and a nudge, or we'll meet, and then you tell me, oh, I'm still working on it. Okay, I'm on to the next client, but I'm still waiting for you to come around. So like, I don't really cut anybody off in a sense, because again, I'm not transactional. Or in the beginning, once we have our consultation and our talk, I'll know not to like deal with you or not. I can sense that you're going to be a lot of work.
What type of liability coverage do you have being on your own, like your own business person? Like, is there like some type of like liability insurance that you have to have as a
Absolutely.
financial advisor? Like, how does that work?
Errors and omissions, general liability, and then errors and omissions, because I can give financial advice, and if you act on it and it like causes you, or you come at me and say, oh, because of your advice, I lost X amount of dollars. It's like, well, okay, you get to file a complaint. That's why I say you need to work with people who are in the business of doing this. Because if I'm taking advice from said person on social media, they have no liability.
Yeah, they don't.
They have no
moral
they have-
responsibility.
And you see a
nothing.
lot of that. You see a lot
And I
of
see
that.
a lot of, and it like pains me. And I'll read the comments, and it will pain me, or it pains me to like see like people are literally like losing money, or they're telling you to invest in all of these things, and I'm like, bro, like, just go with somebody who actually does it, because if something happens, you can file a complaint, you can sue, and you may be able to recoup some money. But like if you keep going with people online, then it's like
All right, before we end things, I got a question for you. What's your number? Like, what's your dream number to work with, as far as money? How much do you think you can handle? Pause. When it comes to money.
I don't think there's a limit on that, right? So my dream is I want to move away from being a person, and I want to operate as an entity,
Okay.
right? So when you walk into a bank, they have what departments? They have like a mortgage department, they have an auto department, they have an investment department, they have like your banking department, right? With me right now, you're looking at me as a person because you can come in contact with me and talk to me, right? But I want it to be, oh, we have this investment side, oh, we have real estate, oh, we have insurance. I want to now move into like an entity, like
Right.
That's dope.
Being a business in a sense.
like I want it, like that's my goal.
Right. Like a JP Morgan.
Absolutely, like
Yeah.
they are the largest bank with about like $8 trillion or so of assets under management.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Where can the people find you at? Let them know where they can
You
find
can
you.
find me on Instagram at Investing with Jeffrey, Jefffery. And that's pretty much like my only social media handle.
Okay.
You
But
can-
when we clip this up, we gonna tag you in. It's gonna be a lot of tags, by the way. Like
This is a lot of helpful information. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, this was listen. My head was hurting at first, but then once you broke it down, certain aspects of it, I was like, I get it a little bit.
Yeah,
that's my whole goal, is to like just make sure like you get it. Like, I'm going to make money, right?
Right.
Like, it ain't like we all gotta pay for a service, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But you don't gotta feel like you're getting beat. I want you to walk away saying, yo, I actually get it. Like, I can speak to like this information.
Gotcha.
That's fire.
Right.
Thank you again.
All right, y'all. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna be right back. We got more for y'all.
Get this money with Jeff.